I'm telling you, that is a good shooting rifle. Any arrow down there on the target's on me. That gun shoots so good. Howdy folks, I'm Darren, and welcome to Cross Timbers Outside. Glad to have you with us out in God's great creation today. We're on our little shooting range again here on our property, and I have a different black powder muzzleloading rifle, traditional rifle with us today. We're going to be shooting this gun today a little bit. Haven't shot this gun in at least 2 years. The reason I haven't, this is a 50 caliber. It's one of my deer calibers or big game calibers. The reason I have not shot this one very much in the last few years is because I refurbished and refinished an older CVA 50 caliber percussion black powder rifle that I hunted with the last year or two. Because I had put in so much work into that gun, I wanted to just carry it and shoot it some. So this one took a back seat for a couple of years. What do we have with us today? You may be able to tell. Thompson center, 50 caliber, Hawken. This gun was made in the 80s, and it's got a few scratches on it from years of shooting it and carrying it in the woods, hunting and different things. But this Thompson center 50 caliber Hawken is a fantastic production rifle. Companies out today should get one of these Thompson center Hawken rifles, or a Renegade, or one of these older Thompson center production rifles and study it. These guns were built back in the time when guns were built to last, and this thing is fantastic. This is a shooter from the past. I haven't shot it in at least 2 years, and I don't, like I said earlier, I don't know why. And you'll have to excuse the wind noise. It is windy today, and it's mid-May, and you can see I've got a jacket on. It was in the high 30s this morning. Blackberry winters, what the old timers called it. And we are here in the Appalachian Mountains. We have good elevation, and we're in the mountains, and it's cool today. They say our high today will only be about 55 degrees for mid-May. But in any event, we've pulled the old Thompson center Hawken back out of the gun safe. And yesterday I swabbed the barrel again. I always keep my gun stored with a light coating of oil in the barrel. And I pulled it out and checked everything. Everything still looks just like it did when I put it in the gun safe. And I get them out periodically. It's not been in the gun safe untouched for 2 years. I've kept it oiled and maintained, but I haven't shot it in about 2 years, or maybe a little bit longer. And this gun does have a set of Thompson center fiber optic sights on it. These are not aftermarket. I don't know if you can see that sight. Thompson center. And it does have the green dots. In the front is a red dot. For my old, tired eyes, I about have to have those kind of sights. I've been shooting at Pedersoli lately with the period correct buckhorn rear steel sight and the steel blade front sight. Man, I'm telling you, I'm having a time seeing that, even out in the sunlight. Come squirrel season, when it's early morning and I'm in the woods under a bunch of canopy, I think I'm going to have to replace those sights on that Pedersoli. I just cannot focus on them. I can't see them. They're very blurry to me. I can't hardly focus on the sight, then my target downrange. They're just not bright enough for me to see. These fiber optic sights fit me to a T. And this is a percussion 50 caliber Thompson center Hawken. So we're going to get this gun on the range here in a little while, and we're going to shoot it. And I haven't shot it in years. I'm assuming it's still zeroed, you never know. I do remember I kept some notes with my 50 calibers. I shot 75 grains with a 490 round ball with .18 pillow ticking patching with Trapper's mink oil, and this gun shot phenomenal. We're going to shoot it again today and see if the sights has got knocked over 2 years of time, if it's still centered in. And we're going to only be shooting it at 30 yards because it's really, really windy today. And I think if I stretch this out to 7,500 yards, the wind would play a factor in the accuracy. And I do have places I can shoot that far. I can shoot out to 150, 200 yards if need be. But we're going to shoot this today at about 30 yards and just see where the zero is, where it's hitting, if it's still grouping good, all that good stuff. I love shooting this gun. We're going to get back to shooting it and prepare it for this coming fall. Maybe we can put some venison in the freezer. Okay, I have my powder measure, and never just load guessing pouring powder, black powder down a barrel. Have you a powder measure, and we do measure by volume, not weight. So we are going to be loading 75 grains out of our flask into a powder measure. And this flask has GoX 2F. We're going to load 75 grains of powder. Now I do shoot 2F in my 50 calibers. Okay. And I have what's commonly referred to as pop to cap in the Thompson, and it has a brand new nipple on it, a hot shot nipple. So we're going to go from there. All right, here goes 75 grains of powder down the barrel. Okay, we're going to tap it. Man, nothing on this Thompson rattles. This is a fantastic black powder rifle. Okay, very, very well made. All right, we're going today to be using again my favorite hunting lube, Trapper's mink oil, and we're going to be using a pre-cut .018 pillow ticking patch that I'm pretty sure I bought these from Log Cabin Shop a couple years ago. And we're going to lube this patch with this Trapper's mink oil. And it's important when you're lubing your patches to get it out of a can like this, to make sure you're getting that mink oil on the whole patch, not just where your finger's pushing it in the middle. Get it on the whole patch. Okay, that is a pretty well lubed patch. Okay, and we are using a Hornady 490 diameter round ball. Okay, we're going to center our patch up on the muzzle, and we're going to set our round ball on it right in the center right there. Look how easy that thing almost starts down in that barrel. Thompson center guns, look at that. In my opinion, this is one man's opinion, they are top notch for a production rifle. In my opinion, hard to beat. Okay, we're going to push it home. There we go. Loads nice and tight. Not too tight, but plenty tight enough for a good seal. Okay. This gun is basically ready to shoot, except for we're going to set our powder away from where we're shooting. Now, I need to go downrange and make sure our target's set up down there and turn a camera on at the target. Be right back. Okay, we are loaded and ready to rock and roll. Only thing we need to do is put our percussion cap on our nipple and draw the hammer. Fire in the hole. That is a smooth shooting gun. First shot. That is such a smooth, nice shooting gun. From the trigger pull to the lock to everything about it. Can you tell I'm a Thompson Center fan? In their old black powder rifles, I'm telling you. Okay, we're gonna swab between every shot with isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna keep a clean barrel, because that's the way the gun would be when we go hunting. Our first shot out of the bore, we don't go hunting with a dirty bore. So we're going to swab between every shot, once with rubbing alcohol, and then a dry patch down it. Now we're going to take a clean patch and run down it to dry up any of that residual rubbing alcohol. And it dries really fast. That's why I use rubbing alcohol, because it dries so fast. Okay, that shot you saw hit 3 inches high at 30 yards. If I'm not mistaken, I had this gun sighted in at 75 yards. So, who knows, the sights could have moved over the years on me a little bit. We're gonna see. All right, I'll be back with you when we're finished loading. We're gonna be loading the exact same thing again. 75 grains of powder, 2F GoX, a .018 Pillaticking pre-cut patch, lubed with Trapper's Mink Oil, and a 490 round ball and a percussion cap. So when we're reloaded, I'll be back with you for our second shot. This gun loads perfectly with that 18 Pillaticking patch and that 490 round ball, tight but not too tight, for a good gas seal. All right, we are going to prime the nipple. Okay, she's hot. Shot number 2. But in the first shot, I put the red dot in between the green dots where I up level, straight line across. This one, I put the red dot down in the notch, and I think it hit just about bullseye. Let's go look. Shot number 2, that was a little different hold on my dot. The very first shot I shot, let's imagine I brought that dot right up level, which is probably what I ought to do. But this shot, I brought it right down where the red dot was barely visible in the notches, and it hit dead center almost. So we're just gonna swab out our barrel really good before we reload. On a cool frosty morning, especially squirrel hunting with 32, but it's black powder, real black powder. On a nice frosty cool morning out in the squirrel woods, and you take a shot at your first squirrel of the day, and you can see that black powder smoke drifting down through a frosty woods and smell it. man, I'm telling you, it will hook you. If you love any kind of older firearms and you've never really tried black powder and you love to small game hunt or deer hunt, big game, elk, whatever, you should look into the muzzleloader seasons. And a lot of states have a late season for flintlock only. And some states don't necessarily, if I'm not mistaken, don't specify flintlock only. It has to be traditional muzzleloader only, which a cap lock then would qualify, or a percussion like we're shooting today. We're ready for shot number 3. Same load. I'm telling you, that is a good shooting rifle. Any arrow down there on the target's on me. That gun shoots so good. Okay, I'm kind of stringing them. There was shot number 3. And I adjusted my sights just a little bit. I did adjust it just now 2 clicks to the right, because all 3 of my shots, well, my very first one was high, but it was about center, but it was high. My other 2 shots was a little bit left. So I've come 2 clicks in, and we're gonna see where it hits. I'm gonna hold the sights the same as I did the last 2, my bead and the notch. The first one I held it a lot higher in the beads, in the dots, and it produced a higher hit. And bear in mind, we're shooting at 30 yards. And later, when it's a day when it's not windy, I'll bring this Thompson center back to the range and sight it in about somewhere between 50 and 75 yards. 50 yards for my style of deer hunting. Usually I have a pop-up blind or just tucked in some brush somewhere sitting. My average shot's usually 50 yards or less. Actually, I shot one time, basically at about 5 yards, straight down out of a tree stand almost. I would prefer that deer to have been out a little further, but it had got under me and it's a pretty decent buck, and it had caught my wind, and you could tell it was a ball of nerves and it was about to explode out of there. So I just took a bead right down through the lungs and shot it at 5 yards. But I'm shooting at 30 yards. And if it's hitting pretty close at 30 yards, about right on, I'm figuring 50 is gonna be good. But we'll check that later. But for now, we're shooting 30 yards, and I wanna get it shooting pretty close to the bull at 30 yards. So I have adjusted the sights 2 clicks to the right. All right, now we're gonna reload. And I can't get enough of this Thompson gun. I wish modern gun makers would, like I said earlier, would take some of these Thompson guns and put them in their research room or hang one on their wall in their production facility and say, here's what we got to replicate. These guns are fantastic. I love them. I mean, I can't get enough of a Thompson center. And to my knowledge, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Thompson center never made a 32 caliber. They did make a 36. In the Cherokee and the Seneca. I don't know that they made a 32 in anything. If they did, somebody drop a comment and let me know, because I will go on a hunt like you ain't never seen to try to find a 32 in a Thompson, but I'm pretty sure they don't make them. You might be able to buy a drop-in Green Mountain barrel or something like that. If that's an option, somebody drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to find a 32 in a Thompson center. I don't think they make them, or they made them. They don't make these anymore. Thompson, Smith & Wesson bought them out years and years ago, and these guns are no more. And that's a crying shame, because these things are fantastic shooters. All right, let's get reloaded. Shot number 4. And I have adjusted my sights just a wee bit. number 4. I adjusted a little too far. Shot number 5. And we made another slight left adjustment. We went back 1 click. Now we're getting somewhere right here. This was a side adjustment from here to here to here to here to here. Now I'm getting somewhere. All right, I'm gonna cover all these holes with the little stickers. Now we're going to start shooting for group. Clean target. Okay, we have a basically new target downrange. We've covered up all of our other shots. And while I'm loading this gun, I want to give a shout out to another channel, Mountain Man Dave. If you haven't been to Mountain Man Dave's YouTube channel and you enjoy black powder and Mountain Man things, I encourage you to go check out his channel. Okay, that's loaded. Mountain Man Dave has a fantastic channel, and a shout out to him. And speaking of Mountain Man Dave's channel, the month of June 2026, over on Mountain Man Dave's channel, he's going to be sponsoring a non-dezvous. What's a non-dezvous? Well, it's a Mountain Man rendezvous where you don't actually go. It's done on the YouTube channel, cyber, I guess you could call it, or something like that. And he's having a muzzleloader competition, black powder. And go to Mountain Man Dave on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube search bar and type in Mountain Man Dave. I'd love for all of our little channel here, our subscribers, to go over and check out, if you haven't already, check out Mountain Man Dave's site or his channel. And if you love shooting muzzleloaders, participate in this non-dezvous. I'm going to be participating, and just because I really like Mountain Man Dave and enjoy watching his channel, and I want to give him all the love and support we can. So I've not decided what gun I want to shoot for the non-dezvous target shoot, whether it'll be my little 32 Pedersoli. I kind of doubt it because that thing's not shooting real great yet. I don't know if it'll be my little Traditions 32 squirrel rifle, or if it'll be this Thompson, or if it'll be my CVA that I refurbished. But we're going to shoot something over for the Weeping Beaver Non-Dezvous. It's what it's called. And I'm sure Dave will welcome you with open arms over there. Just go to his channel, be respectful, like most mountain men are, and black powder shooters, and you'll enjoy Mountain Man Dave's channel. All right, we are reloaded. We've got a new target up downrange, or at least the old shot's covered. All right, now I think we've got our sights where we want them. Let's put a 3-shot group down there and see what it does. Bingo. I blew off one of the stickers. I blew off the red sticker. Let's put it back on. Okay. Let's try that shot number. That was 1. Here goes shot number 2. think that went a little high. A little high. This is shot number 3 after the sight adjustment. Three shot group, 1, 2, 3. It blew the sticker off the bottom again. The sticker was right there. That's a 3 shot group. I pulled that one a little high. Those are almost in the same hole. Let's do one more shot. Okay, we're ready for our 4th and final shot on the new target. We got a decent group going. I pulled one a little bit high. Let's go take a look at our final target. Man, that's 3 shots in the same hole. We're done shooting for the day. Shooting our Thompson center Hawken 50 caliber. Percussion black powder muzzleloader. Man, I'm telling you, this rifle right here is a gem. And Thompson put out quite a few of these Hawken models over the years. From the 80s, somebody in the comments dropped the years that they put out the Hawken and the Renegades. I like the Renegade really well. Actually, if I had my choice, I'd probably choose a Renegade because the Renegades does not have the brass hardware. Although the brass on this rifle is very patinaed. This gun's been around since probably the mid to late 80s, and it's a fantastic shooter. I'm telling you, these new companies that's putting out finished rifles, they should put one of these things into their lab, into their R&D department, and let them research this thing thoroughly to figure out why this is such a darn good shooting rifle. This is the best shooting black powder rifle I've ever owned. Now, granted, I've not owned a Kibler, and I've not owned some custom guns and things of that nature. But for a production gun that you can buy finished, or you could when this thing was new, man, I'm telling you, this thing is a lights out shooter. You saw there, once we got our sight adjusted, I put 3 .490 round balls, patched round balls, basically in the same hole. The one that went a little high, I'm pretty sure I didn't have my sight adjusted exactly, or I shouldn't say adjusted, it's adjusted, but I had my front bead a little too high in my rear notch, and it put it up high. But the other 3, man, went right in the same hole, and I held those exactly the same. I've been shooting different guns lately, and it's made me kind of have to go back to square one how I hold on some of these guns. My next gun to shoot again will probably be my CVA 50 that I refurbished and redid. But I'm telling you, it's hard to not shoot this gun right here. This thing is a fantastic flat out shooter. And I've shot it up to 100 yards on targets, and it shoots as good at 100 as it does at 30. My hunting ranges, and we live here on the East Coast in the Appalachian Mountains, and by the way, it's Appalachian, not Appalachian. If you say Appalachian, people will know you're a tourist, you're not from here. So it's Appalachian. Here in the Appalachian Mountains, generally speaking, whitetail deer hunting or black bear hunting or any kind of big game, our shots are going to be 50 yards. At least mine. Somebody else may hunt a power line right away where they can shoot 300 or 400 yards with a 300 Win Mag or something, or a 308. But as far as a black powder rifle goes and how I hunt and I set up my stands, 50 yards is usually about where I shoot to. Now I can shoot out to 75 in the right conditions, in the right spots, but 50 yards is a good general rule to where I need to sight my black powder deer rifles in for. And at 50 yards, this gun is lights out accurate. We're shooting 75 grains, a .018 pill of ticking, lubed with Trapper's mink oil, with a 490 round ball and a percussion cap. Wish my Pedersoli shot this good. I'm telling you. And you can't buy these guns new no more. The only place you're gonna find one if you want one and you don't already own one is a pawn shop or gunbroker.com or some shop where one's been used. And try to find you a safe queen, meaning one that's sitting in a gun safe somewhere that an individual wants to sell. And these Thompson Center Hawkens or Renegades, man, I'm telling you, they are, in my opinion, as far as a production gun goes, it don't get any better. I may look into buying me one of these in a flintlock. They're still around. You can find them like on gunbroker.com or in pawn shops or different places like that. I may eventually look around and find me a flintlock, either in a Renegade or a Hawken. I'd probably rather have a Renegade in a flintlock. But I tell you, I can't be no more happy. And this was not a kit gun. They did sell a lot of these guns in kit form, and you can tell it by the serial number. It'll usually start with a K and then the serial. This one is not a kit gun serial number. Thompson Center Arms, Rochester, New Hampshire, 50 caliber Hawken. And it has the Thompson Center sights on it, the fiber optic sights, and I do have a sling for it. I just don't have it on here right now. It does have the studs, has the patch box and the brass, whereas the Renegade models are basically the same gun almost, but they just don't have the brass. They're black hardware, and I like that. So do not forget to drop over to Mountain Man Dave's YouTube channel and check out the Weeping Beaver Non-Dezvous. I'm sure Dave would appreciate you coming, and if you haven't ever visited his channel, Dave is a super good guy and a super kind and gentle fella, and you'll enjoy his channel if you enjoy mountain men stuff, black powder shooting, things of that nature. Give Dave a look and give him a thumbs up. And if you're into black powder shooting, join over there on Mountain Man Dave's channel for the Weeping Beaver Non-Dezvous, June 1st through June 30th. You have a whole month to shoot your target and turn it in for the Weeping Beaver Non-Dezvous. Thank you for being with us today here on Cross Timbers Outside. We really appreciate it. It's time to go to the shop, break this Thompson Center Hawken down, pull the lock off, pull the barrel off, and give this gun a thorough cleaning. Thanks for being with us. I really appreciate it. And I pray God blesses you and your family. Get outside.